Hi, I'm Darragh Morgan, the violinist in the Fidelio Trio, and this is our fourth Winter Chamber Music Festival here at St Patrick's College. We have our finale, which is an interesting take on things. First of all, we have two premieres, first of which is by Rhona Clarke.
Today's work is probably the work that I am the most familiar with before hearing its first performance. It's very much influenced by them and working with them, and by other factors as well, such as recent approaches to composition, where improvising using a controller keyboard is providing the material, the main material for the work. And I have found this method of bypassing notation, which is so painstaking in getting the initial ideas, provides something very immediate. Another influence which goes into the mix here, because there is always a mix, is the work that I saw in visits to the south of France, line drawings by Pablo Picasso. And they really struck me, these line drawings, because again of this immediacy. I would say that spurred me on to find a way of working to get something very direct.
We have a new piece from Cleare. It's a really interesting use of what is perceived often as a very traditional medium, the piano trio, and to go outside the normal context of what you can make sonorities-wise with these three so very traditional of instruments. So Anne prepares the piano, and Mary is playing a lot both inside the piano but also on the edge of the keys. We, as string players, not only, of course, use a lot of microtonal language in our left hands, but we also use prepared bows, kind of shaping sonically what the piano is already doing sound-wise. Yeah, it's a really different take on what the piano trio can sound like.
The name of the piece is 93 Million Miles Away. It's my first real piece for piano trio. But I did have to think hard about how to approach it. I actually kind of gave it this title because of how different the two instruments are, the strings and the piano. I guess in trying to deal with that difference, I kind of worked on material, sound material, that I thought was similar between the two instruments. So I started with the piano and started to work on the inside strings of the piano. So then I think that brought me a little bit closer to the string instruments, the violin and cello, because I was treating the piano as if it was a string instrument rather than a keyboard instrument. So the title 93 Million Miles Away, it's also related to how far NASA estimate the sun to be from the Earth. So again, just thinking about distant places, you know, a lot about the piece is this idea of distance. Even when things are very close, it still feels like there's so much to go before they can actually be in contact. And then in the piece, I also have these two different sonic worlds. So I was kind of thinking of them as well as a bit like the earth and the sun, and they're two different things that you're constantly wondering as you're listening to the piece, how far apart they really are and how different they really are.